Hi, my name is Nikipirowicz and welcome to West Yorkshire Spinners Baubles and Bows Crochet Along. In the next few tutorials, I will show you the techniques on how to create the beautiful panels. The first tutorial is going to concentrate on how to start the panel and how to work the stranded color work. The second tutorial, we're going to talk about the crochet intarsia, then followed by cross stitch, and the last tutorials will be about the joining and finishing and adding the edging. So to take part in the crochet along, you will need the yarn. The crochet along is designed in West Yorkshire Spinners ColourLab Aran in emerald green, clotted cream, cherry red, and the beautiful golden mustard. You will also need a 4.5mm crochet hook, or size needed to obtain the tension. Also a tapestry needle, washi tape to mark your rows on the chart, and of course you will need the patterns. All the patterns are charted and they are free to download from West Yorkshire Spinners website. The link will be in the description box below. I almost forgot the very important pair of very sharp scissors. So once you have all those important things, let's get started with the crochet along. So before we start on the technique, let me show you first how each panel is constructed. So we always start with the chainless foundation double crochet, that's US single crochet. The first stitch is work in standing double crochet. Again, I'm using UK terms, US it will be single crochet. So the first stitch is standing double crochet. The second stitch is a normal double crochet, just through both legs of the stitch, and so are the last two. So the last two stitches are working normal double crochet as well, and everything else in between is work into the double crochet into the back loop. The reason we work into the back loop because it stops the color work from tilting, and the pattern is nice and straight. When we're working in intarsia, the panels are always worked in the same way. So starting with chainless foundation, then the first two and the last two are normal double crochet, everything else is double crochet into the back loop. The motif which is placed in intarsia, the yarn for the motif is stranded at the back, which means we will not cut and start again on every round as we do with the normal yarn. This one we will carry with us. So if I show you at the back, you can see the yarn carried along with us. I will show you exactly how it's done very soon. But for now, let's concentrate on starting the square and how to work the stranded color work. So for this tutorial, you will need one of your stranded color work chart. I will be working on the trees one. The key to a wonderful crochet color work is it's a nice and relaxed tension, so we don't pack our work. When we're stranding our yarn, we want our yarn, I'll show you at the back here. We want our yarn to be nicely carried over. We don't want it to be tight and packed up. So if we look at our chart has 41 stitches and 42 rows. The C's at the bottom here symbolize chainless foundation double crochet, which counts as the first row of the chart. The chart is read from right to left on every single row. This is why our row numbers are to our right. If you are left-handed, read it from left to right, it will be still absolutely fine. And as I mentioned before, we will start new yarn at every single row and cut it at the end. So we start every single row with the standing double crochet. Again, I'm using UK terminology, US it will be single crochet. So let me show you first how to work the chainless foundation. The chainless foundation gives us a very nice and relaxed edge. So to start, you're going to make a slip knot and chain 2. If you look at the front of your chains, they have formed beautiful V's. If you look at the back or on the side, those V's have bumps. So we're going to enter a hook into the bump of the first chain made. Yarn around the hook and pull it through that bump only. 2 loops on hook, yarn around the hook, pull it through 1. So 1 loop only, and then yarn around the hook and pull it through both. So now if we look at the top of our work, we have made one beautiful double crochet, but we're going to work on the side or into the back of those double crochets. So if we look at the back, we've got a strand here, and behind it there is another strand. So we're going to insert a hook underneath those 2 strands at the back. Yarn around the hook, pull it through those strands only. 2 loops on hook, yarn around the hook, pull it through 1 loop only, then yarn around the hook and pull it through both. And that's our second stitch made. So one more time. Onto the side, enter your hook into this loop here at the back, and immediately through the other one, through the one following it. You see, so there's 2 loops. So there's 2 loops at the back here. Yarn around the hook, pull it through those 2 strands. 2 loops on hook, yarn around the hook, pull it through 1, and yarn around the hook and pull it through both. And continue to do so until you have 41 stitches altogether. When you have 41 chainless double crochets made, you can now grab your scissors, leave yourself a bit of a tail, not too much because you don't want to waste too much yarn, because don't forget this will be enclosed in your square. So about this much is fine. Make a chain and pull it through. And now we are ready to start our next row. So if we look at row number 2, we will start our color work here. So first of all, we're going to start with a standing double crochet. To make a standing double crochet is very simple. Again, this is your single crochet. Make a slip knot and slip it onto your hook and tighten. Insert the hook into your first stitch, so into the 2 legs of the stitch, you see, because your stitch has 2 legs on top. So into the two legs of the stitch, grab your yarn and pull it through. 2 loops on hook, yarn around the hook and pull it through both. And now what we're going to do is start enclosing this tail. So we're going to place this tail at the back of our work, and our next stitch is a double crochet as well. So again, into the full stitch. And from now on, we will work into the back loop of every stitch until the last 2 stitches. So when we work in color work, we have to change our color on the last stage of a stitch before. So our next stitch is cream, but the following one is green. So we will change our color on the cream stitch. So insert your hook into the back loop of the stitch. So you see, this is the front loop. So as I was explaining, so your stitch, as I explained before, your stitch has 2 legs, so it forms a V. This is the front leg, and the back one is the back leg. So we're going to insert a hook into the back leg of the stitch, making sure we enclose the tail. Grab your yarn and pull it through, and stop when you have 2 loops on hook. Now grab your new yarn, so our green, and finish off the stitch with the green color. So just yarn around the hook and pull it through. So this is our green. So our next stitch is full green, but the following stitch is cream. So we will have to change our color on the last stage of this green stitch. And now we're going to have 2 tails to enclose, because we've got the green one and still the cream one. So insert a hook into the back loop of the next stitch, enclosing both of those tails. Grab your yarn and pull it through. Tighten it a little bit because it's quite loose. We've got 2 loops on hook. Now grab your cream again and pull it through. What will really help in your color work if you keep your yarns separately. So keep the green one to your right and the cream one to your left, or the other way round. But when you're picking up and dropping your yarn, make sure you always drop them in the right direction. What I mean by that, I'll show you on the next one. So our next stitch is cream, then followed by a green. So we're going to go insert a hook into the 2 legs of the neck, insert a hook into the back loop of the next stitch, grab my yarn and pull it through. And now I'm going to drop my cream to my left because that's where my cream yarn is. And I'm going to grab my green from my right because that's where my green color is. And I'm going to finish off this stitch with the green color. Now the following stitch is green, so insert your hook and pull it through. See? Drop it to my right and pick up my cream from my left and finish off the stitch in cream. You see? Once you practice a little bit, all of this gets a lot easier. So we don't need to trap the cream anymore, but let's continue to trap the green for a few more stitches. So now we're going to do, again, back loop, cream, drop it, pick up green and finish the stitch off. So now work it with green, drop it, pick up cream, and drop. Now this is the one-handed method. So it's, as you can see, it's a lot of dropping and picking up, dropping and picking up. There is a way of working this when you can carry the 2 yarns in both hands. To be successful at it, you need to learn how to crochet in the throwers way. So this, the cream one, or whichever one is, the yarn that is in your right hand, the yarn that is in your left hand will be worked as you would normally in this way. But the one which is in your right hand, it will be worked in a throwers way. How a knitter will knit in a throwing way. So hold your yarn. I usually just kind of wind it around my finger, or just hold it here under your index finger. The working yarn is under your index finger. And I'm going to work my next stitch. I'm not going to trap any more yarns. So grab my cream from my left, and I will finish off with my right. So I wind the yarn from top, from kind of front to back around my hook, and pull it through. Then into my next stitch, I'm going to work it in with my right hand. So again, from front to back, pull it through. And now I'm going to finish off the stitch with my left hand. So this is the easiest way of working like color work, but of course it's difficult when you have never done it before. So practice is always required, as with everything. However, you can just pick and drop. You can just pick and drop. It's not necessary for you to do it with two-handed method. However, I would say that the two-handed method is a lot quicker and more efficient. So let me show you for a few more stitches. I'm going to grab my cream, pull it through, then finish off the stitch with my green. So in with my green. So you see, when I'm going, I do let go of my hook when I'm holding. The hook is held with my left hand while I'm doing this. I think there is a way of doing it where you don't have to let go of your hook, but I always hold my knitting. When I'm knitting, I always hold. I'm a thrower when I knit, and I always hold my knitting needles on top, not underneath. So when you're doing underneath, it will be easier, but I always hold it on top. So for me, I always hold it with my left hand around and pull it through, and finish off with my cream so simply I grab it there, you see. So in, around, and pull it through. Oops. See, and this is how our color work is looking so far. It's really lovely. But again, let's do the drop and pick up way. So pick it up here, drop it down, and pick up a green, finish off, work half in the next stitch, drop it to our right, pick up the cream. See, everything has its place, and you can get really quick in this way as well. So don't overstress it. All the ways of working the color work are nice and easy. It's all about the process and not the speed. We are almost at the end. So what I want us to do when we reach the end is start trapping this tail here. But we've got a few more stitches to go. Hold on, so 1, 2. I think when we add this, so we've got 6 stitches left. So let's start trapping our tail from the previous row. So we're going to just grab our tail, fold it behind, hold it behind our work, and when we're inserting our hook into our next stitch, make sure that this yarn is strapped as well. So it's lying on top of our hook. Pull it through, finish off this stitch in cream, and then again the next stitch, make sure that this yarn is that this tail is enclosed. We've got one more green, and then we've got cream. So then we've got 3 stitches left, so it's going to be 1 double crochet into the back loop, then the last 2 stitches are double crochets into the full leg, so both legs of the V. So in and pull it through. See, just like that. Now grab your scissors, cut the yarn, leaving a bit of a tail. Again, don't go too crazy with the tail because you don't want to waste all this yarn. And then yarn around and pull it through. And do the same with the green, cut it a little bit, giving yourself a bit of a tail, because again we're going to trap this on the next row. And these two from the beginning, when we trap them at the beginning, can be now cut. Don't worry, they won't unravel. This is beautiful wool, so it will nicely felt them behind. And this one can also be cut because this one is strapped. I usually cut them on regular intervals as I work because I don't want them to be tangling behind. So now we are ready for our next row. And our next row is very simple. It's just pure cream, so there is nothing interesting to do here at all. But on the next row, we have far more interesting thing to do. So this is when I will show you how to strand your yarn as you work. But for now, let's start our next row. So again, I'm going to show you again how to start and how to enclose your yarns. So starting with standing double crochet, So not loop on hook into your first stitch, and again we're starting again at the beginning of our row, so on with the right side facing. So making sure that the yarn is at the back, insert your hook into your next stitch, grab the yarn and pull it through, and pull it through the stitch. Two loops on hook, yarn around and pull it through both. See? So that's our standing double crochet. So then our next stitch is just a standard double crochet. Make sure you take this tail of the standing double crochet and enclose it in. So this one is going to be done into both legs of the stitch as well. So this is a full double crochet. Pull it through. And now we are working into the back loops of every single stitch until the last two. So into the back loop of every single stitch, making sure we enclose the tail with us. Now do it for a few stitches. Enclose the tail for a few stitches, 7, 6, 7, 8, and then you don't have to enclose it anymore, and just carry on as normal, just working until to the last two stitches. So then when you are few stitches away from where you had your green, I want you to stop. So few good stitches away, I would say 5, 6 stitches. Make sure you fold those two ends at the back of your work and enclose those ends as well. So now enclose those two strands at the back of work. And when you reach your two last stitches, you're going to work into the full stitch. So both legs of the stitch. So 1 and 2. Now make a loop, catch your yarn and pull it through. Okay, and again, you can cut those little ends at the back. We won't need them anymore. And now we are ready for row number 4. What I suggest you do also is get yourself some washi tapes or anything to mark your rows, so you don't lose your place. So you see, this is row number 4. You can either place it underneath or on top. I always place it on top for some reason. I think because I do a lot of mosaic crochet, and I always place it on top of mosaic crochet. So if we look at row number 4, we've got only few greens here and the rest are creams, and the rest is cream. And of course we have to carry our yarn with us all the way, so we have to carry the green with us, join it on stitch number 8, on the last stitch of stitch number 8, then get rid of it on stitch number 34, and then enclose the yarn for the rest of the row. Okay, so again, let's start with our right side, with the very first stitch of the right side, and we're starting with standing double crochet. Insert it into your first stitch, grab your yarn and pull it through, and pull it through both. And again, immediately from then on, we're going to start to enclose our tail. And we work the next stitch, which is the full double crochet as well. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 stitches, and we're going to join our green on the 6th stitch. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And when we've got 2 loops on a hook, we're going to grab our green and finish off the stitch with the green yarn. Drop it down and make sure to enclose this tail. All of this enclosing of tails is to help us, is to stop us having massive amounts of ends to weave in. This is just to ease our work, really. And trust me, it really, really helps. So now what we will have to do, we will have to strand our green yarn all the way with us until we need to use it again. We need to strand it, which means we need to catch it at the back, so we don't have big loops running through. Like I show you, I'm gonna show you on this square here. So this is the present square. If we look at the back, all the loops at the back are nice and neat. So nothing is, there is no big loops running through. And this is what stranding does. So we strand the yarn at the back, so nothing pulls apart. You can also see my ends when I was enclosing in them. You see, you just trim them and they're perfectly fine. If you are going to work the two-handed method, it will be easier for your yarn that you want to strand to be in your left hand. So for this one, we need to strand the green. So I would usually move the green into my left hand and the cream into my right hand. So I'm going to do that now because I'm going to show you how to strand using the one-handed and two-handed methods. So first of all, we're going to start with the one-handed method. So our next color is green. Let's just work that. Oops. So in, make sure you start enclosing the green tail. Then drop, pick up your cream, and finish off the stitch in cream. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've got 11 stitches. I always strand my yarn on a 3rd stitch. So I will work 2, I will strand the yarn on a 3rd. So let's work 2 stitches in cream. So 1 and 2. And I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, into the back loop of next stitch. Grab the yarn I want to strand and place it on top of my hook, you see? So it's lying there nicely, along with the tail. I'm going to grab my cream and work, basically enclose those 2 yarns into the stitch. Okay? So now this one can slip away and we're only going to enclose the tail. So again, 1, 2, and to trap the yarns on the next stitch, I'm going to again insert my hook into the next stitch, grab the yarn, place it on top of my hook, yarn around, grab my main collar and pull it through and finish off the stitch as normal, you see? And those yarns here are carried with me all the way along. Well, one of them is fully enclosed, the other one that I want to carry with me is just enclosed a little bit, you see? It creates those small loops at the back. So now I don't have to enclose this tail anymore, it's gone far enough. Let's work 2 more stitches. 1, 2, insert my hook into the next stitch, place my green on top, and then finish off the stitch with the cream and making sure that the green yarn is enclosed in the stitch. So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Are we changing on 11? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Yes. So the next stitch we are going to change to our green. See? Drop it, change into our green, finish off the stitch in green, and then work half of the other stitch in green, and then finish off that stitch in cream. And now we are ready for our next stage. So let me show you now how to enclose it using the two-handed method. So you will have your green in your left hand and your cream in your right hand. So we're going to work 2 stitches, so 1, 2, and we are enclosing a green on the next stitch. So insert my hook into the stitch, place this green on top of this hook, and finish off the stitch as normal. You see? Let me show you again. 1, 2, and on this stitch I'm going to enclose. I'm going to trap the green. Insert my hook in, place the green on top of my hook, work the stitch as normal, making sure that the yarn doesn't come with me. So as I'm going through, I'm going to move the yarn out of the way, so only the cream comes through the stitch, and finish off the stitch. You see, again, nice little neat loops at the back. Let's do one more. 1, 2, and I'm going to enclose it on the third. So inside, place the green on top, yarn around the hook, pull it through, and making sure that the green doesn't come with me. Yarn around and pull it through. How many do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we've got 1 and 2. And then we're going to work our green. So now that will be it for the green. So what I want you to do is enclose it into the stitches now that we need to finish their row. So basically just enclose this tail into the stitches. 1, 2, 3, and now we can join 3, and now we can start enclosing the end tail. When you get a little practice, all of this will become very easy. I know it might seem a little bit like, oh my god, I need to trap a yarn there, I need to trap a yarn there, but it really isn't, and trust me, it's so worth it than weaving all those ends at the back. For me, color work looks a lot better done in rounds, and to achieve this beautiful effect of crochet color work in rounds, you work your rows on the right side only, and it just looks a little bit better. And again, the weaving in at the end is really not that much of a deal. It will become a natural thing after a while. So let me just enclose it for a few more, and again, don't forget until the last stitches where we will work into the 2 full last stitches. Chain 1, cut your yarn, pull it through to finish. And now we can cut this green here, this one, and this one. I do cut them on regular intervals purely because I find them that they get in the way. So if we move on to our next row, so our next row is row number 5, and if you look at it, we need to strand now. We're going to have a few good stitches of green, which means we have to strand our cream. So when we look at how many stages do we work in cream, it's only 3, so we can leave them as it is, but we do have to strand the cream in between the green. So again, for ease of everything, swap your yarns around if you're working in the two-handed method. It's just a lot easier. So now my green goes into my right hand and my cream goes into my left hand because I want to strand the cream. So again, let's start our work with the standing double crochet. Get slip knot. Next stitch again is a normal double crochet. And now we've got 2 stitches and we change to our green. So, and again, enclose this tail, don't forget to enclose the tail. 1, 2, and we're going to attach our green. Finish off the stitch with the green. We're going to enclose the tail of the green as well. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stitches of the green. So enclosing both of the tails now, we're going to work 2 stitches. And now we're going to trap our main cream on the 3rd stitch. So insert your hook into your stitch, grab the cream, place it on top of your hook, and then finish off this stitch with the green, making sure that the cream and the other tails don't come with you through the stitch. So basically, you see, you just go in underneath it. Oopsie days, I'm trying to show you, but it keeps on skipping away. You basically are going underneath it and pull it through. Okay, so now move the cream out of the way. I don't enclose my yarns all the way with me because I don't like it when they show through. So I find if you enclose them all the way, they will show through. I prefer to just enclose them on regular intervals. So just to catch them at the back on regular intervals. So 1, 2, 3. So let's do 1, 2, and again we're going to catch them. We can move those 2 tails out of the way now, and we're going to catch the cream on the next stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch, grab your cream, place it on top of your hook, finish off this stitch with the green, making sure that the cream doesn't come with you. See, and that's it. And we've got 1, 2, and 3, because that's our 9 stitches of our tree, and we stop when we've got 2 loops on the last stitch. Drop the green and finish off the stitch with the cream. See, so that's this part. And if we look at the back, our cream is nicely caught with us. So not too big a loops, nice and small. And now we have to work, we're going to have to work 3 stitches in cream, but we change the color on the 3rd stitch. So 1, 2, and on the 3rd one we change our color. Okay, so now if I show it to you with 2-handed method, so your cream is in your left hand, your green is in your right hand, and we're going to work 1, 2, and we're going to catch our cream on the next stitch. So into the stitch, place this cream yarn on top, or the yarn that needs to be stranded on top of the hook, yarn around and pull it through, and making sure when you're finishing off this stitch, the cream doesn't come with you. Okay, there we go. One more time. 1, 2, and again we're gonna trap it here. So into the stitch, place this yarn that needs to be stranded on top of the hook, yarn around, pull it through, making sure that the cream doesn't come with you, and finish off the stitch with the green. And now we've got 1, 2, and now on the last one we are going to change to our cream. 1 and change. See? So that's our second one done, and we've got 1 more. So we're going to work 2 stitches in cream, 1, 2, and then 3, and on a third one we're going to swap our yarns. And again, 1, 2, and enclose it on the third. 1, 2, and enclose it on the third. Oops. Now we've got 1, 2. I want you to grab the tail from the end of previous row, fold it at the back, and enclose it into the stitches as well. And now we're going to swap to our cream. You can enclose this green as well with you all the way to, well, to the last stitch. I never enclose it on the last stitch. I'll leave it one stitch before the last. So I'm going to enclose 1, 2, and the last 2 stitches are full stitch. So in 1, and then I'm going to finish the last stitch as normal. Now for the ease of everything, you can I also enclose this green on the next row as well, just for a bit. Cut off your yarn, make a chain and pull it through. And again, cut the green as well, leaving yourself a bit of a tail. Don't go crazy with the length of the tail. You don't need that much to weave it in, and again, it wastes your yarn a lot. So, see, this is what it looks like at the back, and you see when we have nicely trapped everything, and it looks nice and neat, and this is what we want to achieve. So once you have done your ferrule panel, it should look like this. And if we look at the back, you see all the yarns are nicely trapped, so there's no big loops at all. Of course, the back isn't the prettiest of things. However, you can back your blanket if you wish. So if we look at the back of the blanket, of the finished blanket, you see it looks like this. You can back it or you can leave it as it is. So to back it with fabric, I would attach it to the back, to the beginning of my edging, or all the way to the end if you wish. It's your choice. But for now, let's just work the edging around the square. You have to work the edging around the square. And it will be done in the same color as your background. So for me, it's cream. So again, we're going to start with a standing double crochet, so standing single crochet, work into the back loop of the top edge, and then we will work into the ends of our rows, then the bottom, and then back up again. So standing single crochet as before. Again, make sure you trap all your yarns. It's very important to trap all your yarns as you go, because again, this will save you huge amounts of weaving in, and it just makes it far more enjoyable. So into the back loop of every single stitch. So very easy. And now when we are almost at the end of, so now we are almost at the end of this edge, we're going to work down into the row, into the ends of our row. So basically we have to work 1 double crochet into every single row. So you see, if you look here, so always go not into one, always work not into 1 strand but into 2 strands of your stitch. So basically we are working into the side of our stitch, so into the 2 strands of our stitch. So again, we have to work into every single row end, which means it's going to be 42 stitches. So the top edge was 41, this is going to be 42. See, so just working into the side of our stitches. So we are working in double crochet, that's US single crochet. Few more stitches. And now we have to work into the other side of our foundation row, so our foundation chainless double crochet. So again, we're going to grab the 2 strands. So let me do 1, and again working in double crochet, you see, so picking up 2 strands. So just inserting your hook on the bottom edge, make sure you go through 2 strands. The reason we are going through 2 strands because it gives us more stability, it doesn't stretch too much. And again, we have to work into every single stitch, so that would be 41 stitches on this bottom edge. And as we are nearing the end, let's grab this tail here. So this is the tail from when we started our foundation, our chainless foundation. Let's trap it as well. So once that is done, we've got one more edge to do. So now we've just got this edge to do, and again we're going to work into every single side of our stitch. So that should be altogether 42 stitches up this side. So we are at the end here, and to end we're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch we have made, into a standing. So insert your hook into under the stitch, so 2 legs of the stitch, grab your yarn and pull it through this stitch and immediately through the one on your hook as well. You see, chain 1, cut your yarn and pull it through. Now we can cut off those yarns here because they are already trapped, we don't have to worry about them. And all we have to do, using a tapestry needle, just weaving this end, and this is your panel completed. And now we are ready for joining all our panels together to put together the blanket.